What's going on YouTube? Keith Moore Jr. here, and for today's video I'm going to be talking about how to burn fat and gain muscle at the same time. But before we get started, I need everyone to smash that like button. It helps my channel to grow by getting the video out to more people. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I release new videos. Now let's get right into it. So for the longest time, yes, I was guilty of this myself, I thought that you had to be in a caloric surplus in order to build muscle. Now, in recent years, and from doing a lot of research and talking to other people in the fitness industry, that's not the only way that you can build muscle. You can still build muscle while losing fat at the same time. So let's talk about how to do that. First things first, you all already know where I'm going with this. You need to be in a caloric deficit. And for the people that say, well, I'm only eating 3 meals a day now and I'm still not losing weight, or I eat this for dinner instead of what I used to eat, but I'm still not losing weight. I say this all the time. How many calories are you consuming? Until you know how many calories you're truly consuming, you will not know what changes you need to make in your nutrition or your diet in order to lose weight. So that's first things first. That's at the top of the list for sure. You're not losing weight, you're not losing body fat because you are not in a caloric deficit. It's a lot of people out here that try to act like calorie deficits do not matter anymore for whatever reason because they're pushing their own agenda. But I know from personal experience, from myself and with other people I trained, you need to be in a caloric deficit in order to start losing weight and burning fat. All right, so how do we get in this calorie deficit? How do we track how many calories we need to be consuming to be at a deficit? You want to get a weight scale. I will leave a link in the description below if you all want to use the same weight scale that I use. And you want to measure everything you are eating and track that. And then based on your progress and what the scale is saying from week to week, you will know what changes you need to make. So if your weight isn't changing, then you need to reduce the calories in order to go in a deficit. Now there are other things that attribute to you being in a deficit, such as like your daily activity level and things like that. But we're speaking strictly from a diet standpoint right now of being in a calorie deficit. Now things like cardio, your daily activity, what type of job you work, that's going to play a role as well, because if it's someone that works construction and they're on their feet all day versus someone that works, an office job like myself where I'm sitting down all day, yeah, their daily activity level may be higher than mine if I don't do anything else outside of just sitting at my desk and working all day, and they're on their feet all day. But there are other things that I can do in order to make up for that, like going outside, doing cardio, or going to the gym and doing cardio. So it's a lot of different factors that play into that, but for the sake of this video, we're going to focus on calorie deficit. All right, so that's step number one. You need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, along with that, you don't want to be at such an extreme calorie deficit, let's say like eating 800 calories a day or something like that in order to lose fat. Yeah, you will lose fat, you will lose weight, but if your calories are that low, you're going to be losing muscle as well, because that's like one of those crash diets where people just try to lose a bunch of weight really fast for something like the holidays, a birthday, or whatever. Now when you do something like that, yeah, the scale will change, you will lose weight, but you will not retain muscle. All right. Now, along with being in a calorie deficit, you need to be consuming at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So sometimes I may go over this, but in recent years, I typically like to stay at 1 gram of protein per body weight because that will help me to retain the lean muscle that I have already built. Protein is going to be an essential macronutrient in order to maintain that lean muscle. All right. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about resistance training. Resistance training is very important as well if you are trying to build muscle during a caloric deficit. Now, I'm not just saying, all right, just go to the gym and be sure you're lifting weights. And yeah, you're going to get weaker in the process. You have to accept that. No, I'm not saying that at all. And a lot of people think that, well, I'm losing body fat, so naturally I'm just going to get weaker. No, that's not the case. You still need to be applying progressive overload to your lifts where you're increasing either the number of sets, the reps, or the weight. That still needs to apply to your program, and you shouldn't be losing a lot of strength if you're taking a slow approach to your fat loss phase. So that's slowly decreasing your calories over time so that you're not doing what I mentioned earlier and doing a crash diet where you're just focused on rapid weight loss. That's when you lose your strength, when your calories are extremely too low. But if you're constantly reducing your calories slowly over time, and then let's say you're at a point to where you're losing a certain amount of weight each week, then you don't need to reduce your calories until you hit a plateau. It's really very simple. So let's not make it more complicated than it has to be. So apply progressive overload to your resistance training, continue to progress in the gym. And if you notice that you're losing a significant amount of strength, then your calories are probably too low. So go ahead, bump them up some, because really the only time where I can see people losing strength when they're cutting is when they're prepping for a show. Because when you're prepping for a show, you're dieting down to extremely low body fat levels if you're prepping right. So naturally with something like that, if you're going down to, let's say 7% body fat, yeah, 7% and lower than that, yeah, your strength is probably going to suffer. But for the average person that's trying to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, you aren't dieting down to the level that a bodybuilding athlete is dieting down to. Your body fat will not be getting that low. So your strength should still be fairly the same and going up as long as you're applying progressive overload. All right, so I just wanted to cover that topic real quick to let you all know that yes, it is possible to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. I have done it myself, and I have coached people as well that have been able to do it also. So don't think that the only way to build muscle is in a bulk, because that's not the case. So I hope you all found this video helpful. Once again, please like the video. Helps get it out to more people, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.